Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on January 20th, 2021 in Sridham, Mayapur, India.
Mangalangaya Tegaram Yatchitataran Mande Segaram Nidatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Islam Adhikayam Tat Sat.
Today, Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation. Today's chapter entitled as Lord Chaitanya meets Ramananda Rai on the banks of Godavari River. Part 2.
Kanara Kusumakriti Angirobaran Mayur Shikhanda Shire Murali Badan.
Like a bluish flower.
Like the bluish flower.
His bodily form.
His bodily form
Had a bluish color.
had a bluish color.
Like a bluish flower.
Like a bluish flower.
And he was wearing on his head a peacock feather.
And he is wearing on his head peacock feather.
And held a flute to his mouth.
And held a flute to his mouth.
Nana Bharano Ange Chikoniya Kala Pito Vastro Paridhan Jilabano Mala Valebano Mala.
He was adorned with various ornaments.
He was adorned with various ornaments.
On his smooth, glossy, black limbs.
On his smooth, blackish, glossy limbs.
He was wearing a yellow garment
And he was wearing a yellow garment
and had a forest flower garland on his neck.
with a forest flower garland on his neck.
Beautiful
A beautiful.
forest garland.
তাহা দেখি মহারাজ আনন্দিত মন পুনরপি হইলা প্রভুর গৌরবরণ.
So, seeing this Shama Sundar form,
Seeing this Shama Sundar form,
Ramananda Rai became very ecstatic in his mind.
Ramananda Roy became very ecstatic in his mind.
Again, the Lord Chaitanya appeared in his golden complexion.
Lord Chaitanya again appeared in his golden complexion.
পশু পক্ষী বৃক্ষ আর যত লতা পাতা গৌর অঙ্গ ছটা ঝল মল করে তথা.
These, the birds, the trees, and all the creepers and leaves,
The birds, beasts, trees, leaves, and all the creepers
everything else,
and everything else
reflected the dazzling golden multi-gold aura of Lord Chaitanya.
reflected the dazzling molten gold aura of Lord Chaitanya.
দেখিয়া জানিল রাজা রামানন্দ রায় প্রেমাই বিহল ধরে নিজ প্রভু পাই.
Ramananda Rai, seeing this transcendental form of the Lord.
Ramananda Roy, seeing this transcendental form of the Lord,
He was overwhelmed with spiritual love.
he was overwhelmed with spiritual love.
That he received the darshan of his own Lord.
That he received the darshan of his own Lord.
He was overwhelmed with the love of Krishna, and he held on to his own Lord's lotus feet.
He was overwhelmed with love of Krishna and he held on to the Lord's lotus feet.
Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet.
Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet.
চরণে পড়িয়া কান্দে অবশ্বরের পরে ধরি লজ্জা প্রভু ভোগায় এলা বাহি
Ramananda fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Ramananda Roy fell at the lotus feet of the Lord.
He was crying, and his body became unconscious.
He was crying and his body became unconscious.
Holding on to his hand,
Holding on to his hand,
Lord Chaitanya took him outside the palace.
Lord Chaitanya took him outside the palace.
রামানন্দের সহিত মিলন জন্য প্রভুর ব্যগ্রতা প্রভু তারে দেখি জানিল এই রামরাই তাহারে মিলিতে প্রভুর মন উঠি ধাই
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand that the person who had come to bathe in the river was Ramananda Rai. The Lord wanted so much to meet him that his mind immediately began running after him.
প্রভু সমীপে রামানন্দের আগমন তথাপি ধৈর্য ধরি প্রভু রহিলা বসিয়া রামানন্দ আইলা অপূর্ব সন্ন্যাসী দেখিয়া
Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was running after him mentally, he patiently remained sitting. Ramananda Rai, seeing the wonderful sannyasi, and came to see him.
Ramananda Rai was very attracted by Lord Chaitanya,
Ramananda Rai was very attracted by Lord Chaitanya,
and he went to see him.
to see him.
প্রভুর রূপ দর্শনে রায়ের বিস্ময় ও দণ্ডবাদ প্রণাম সূর্য শত সমকান্তি অরুণ বসন সুবলিত প্রকাণ্ড দেহ কোমল লোচন
Srila Ramananda Roy then saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be as brilliant as 100 suns. The Lord was covered by a saffron garment. He was large in body and very strongly built, and his eyes were like lotus petals.
দেখিয়া তাহার মনে হইল চমৎকার আসিয়া করিল দণ্ডবত নমস্কার
When Ramananda Roy saw the wonderful sannyasi, he was struck with wonder. He went to him and immediately offered his respectful obeisances, falling down flat like a rod.
Ramananda Rai, seeing Lord Chaitanya,
So Ramananda Roy, seeing Lord Chaitanya,
immediately offered his obeisances. Prostrate on the ground.
On the ground.
That's being a sannyasi in India.
Being a sannyasi in India,
That's the respect that one gets.
that's the respect one will get.
And since Lord Chaitanya was himself effulgent,
And since Lord Chaitanya was himself effulgent,
he was the Supreme Personality.
he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
And naturally, Ramananda Rai felt great devotion
So naturally, Ramananda Roy felt great devotion
for him.
for him.
আলিঙ্গনাথ শোক প্রভুর ধৈর্য রায়কে উত্থাপন ও নাম জিজ্ঞাসা উঠি প্রভু কহে উঠো কহ কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ পারে আলিঙ্গ দিতে প্রভুর হৃদয় সব কৃষ্ণ
The Lord stood up and asked Ramananda Roy to rise and chant the holy name of Krishna. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very eager to embrace him.
তথাপি পুছিল তুমি রায় রামানন্দ কেহ কহে সেই হুম মুঞ্জি দাস সূত্র মন্দ
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then inquired whether he was Ramananda Rai, and he replied, "Yes, I am your very low servant, and I belong to the Sudra community."
পরিচয় শুনিয়াই প্রভুর রায়কে আলিঙ্গন উভয়ের প্রেম তবে তারে কইল প্রভু দৃঢ় আলিঙ্গন প্রেমাবেশে প্রভু ভিত্ত দোহে অচেতন
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Sri Ramananda Rai very firmly. Indeed, both the master and the servant almost lost consciousness due to ecstatic love.
So this meeting of Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai,
So, in this meeting of Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy,
very emotional for both.
very emotional for both.
Like the meeting of the Krishna with the gopi.
It's like the meeting of Krishna with his gopis.
স্বাভাবিক প্রেম দোহার উদয় করিলা দোহাকে আলিঙ্গিয়া দুহে ভূমিতে পড়িলা
Their natural love for each other was awakened in them both, and they embraced and fell to the ground. Purport: Srila Ramananda Rai was an incarnation of the Gopi Vishaka. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Lord Krishna himself, there was naturally an awakening of love between Vishaka and Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the combination of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. The Gopi Vishaka is a principal Gopi assisting Srimati Radharani. Thus, the natural love between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awakened and they embraced.
So, natural love between Krishna and Visakha
So, the natural love between Krishna and Visakha
awakened when Lord Chaitanya
awakened when Lord Chaitanya
met Ramananda Rai.
met Ramananda Roy.
স্তম্ভ শ্বেদশ্রু কম্প পুলক বৈবর্ণ দোহার মুখেতে শুনি গদ গদ কৃষ্ণ বর্ণ
When they embraced each other, ecstatic symptoms, paralysis, perspiration, tears, shivering, paleness, and standing up of the bodily hairs appeared. The word Krishna came from their mouths falteringly.
তদ্দর্শনে বিপ্রগণের বিস্ময় ও বিচার দেখিয়া ব্রাহ্মণগণের হইল চমৎকার বৈদিক ব্রাহ্মণ সব করেন বিচার
When the stereotyped ritualistic Brahmanas who were following the Vedic principles saw this ecstatic manifestation of love, they were struck with wonder. All these Brahmanas began to reflect as follows.
এই তো সন্ন্যাসীর তেজ দেখি ব্রহ্ম সম শূদ্রে আলিঙ্গিয়া কেনে করেন ক্রন্দন
The Brahmanas thought, "We can see that this sannyasis has a luster like the effulgence of Brahman. But how is it he is crying upon embracing a Sudra?" a member of the fourth class in the social order.
This is the difference between the external varnashram consideration
This is the difference between the external varnashrama consideration
and the internal bhakti devotional.
and the internal bhakti, devotion to Krishna.
So since Lord Chaitanya had a spiritual relationship
Since Lord Chaitanya has spiritual relationship
with Ramananda Rai,
with Ramananda Rai,
that took precedence.
that took precedence.
But the Vedic Brahmanas
But the Vedic Brahmanas
only saw the external manifestation.
only saw the external manifestation.
এই মহারাজ মহা পণ্ডিত গম্ভীর সন্ন্যাসীর স্পর্শে মত্ত হইলা স্থির।
They thought, this Ramananda Rai is the governor of Madras, a highly learned and grave person, a Mahapandita. But upon touching the sannyasi, he has become restless like a madman.
They can't understand why Ramananda Rai is feeling ecstatic Krishna prema.
They can't understand why Ramananda Rai is experiencing the ecstatic Krishna prema
by touching Lord Chaitanya.
by touching Lord Chaitanya.
প্রভুর ভাব বেগ সম্বর এই মতো বিপ্রগণ ভাবে মনে মন বিজাতীয় লোক দেখি প্রভু কইল সম্বরণ।
While the Brahmanas were thinking in this way about the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw those outsiders and restrained his transcendental emotions. Purport: Ramananda Rai was intimately related to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he can be accepted as a Sajatiya, a person within the intimate circle of the Lord. The Brahmanas, however, were followers of the Vedic rituals and were not able to have an intimate connection with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Consequently, they are called Vijatiya Loka. In other words, they were not pure devotees. One may be a highly learned Brahmana, but if he is not a pure devotee, he is a Vijatiya, an outcast, one outside devotional service, in other words, a non-devotee. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai were embracing in ecstasy, the Lord restrained his transcendental emotions upon seeing the outsider Brahmanas.
The outsider Brahmanas
The outsider Brahmanas
could not appreciate
could not appreciate
the transcendental emotion
the transcendental emotions
of Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya.
of Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya.
And Lord Chaitanya
And Lord Chaitanya
controlled himself,
controlled himself,
since they're being watched by the outsider Brahmanas.
because they being watched by the outsider Brahmanas.
প্রভু কর্তৃক নিজাগমন কারণ বর্ণন। সুস্থ হইয়া দুহে সেই স্থানেতে বসিলা তবে হাসি মহাপ্রভু কহিতে লাগিলা।
When they regained their sanity, they both sat down, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and began to speak as follows.
সার্বভৌম ভট্টাচার্য কহিল তোমার গুণে তোমারে মিলিতে মোরে করিল যতনে।
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke of your good qualities, and he made a great endeavor to convince me to meet you.
তোমা মিলিবারে মোর যথাগমন ভালো হইল অনায়াসে পাইলু দর্শন।
Indeed, I have come here just to meet you. It is very good that even without making an effort, I have gotten your interview here.
রামানন্দের দৈন ও প্রভু স্তুতি। রায় করে সার্বভৌম, করে ভিত্ত জ্ঞান, পরক্ষেয় মোর হিতে হয় সাবধান।
Ramananda replied, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thinks of me as his servant. Even in my absence, he is very careful to do me good.
Ramananda Rai was very grateful to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
So Ramananda Roy was very grateful to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya,
Always thinking about his welfare.
always thinking about his welfare.
He praised Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in this way.
He praised Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in this way.
আর কি পাইনু তোমার দর্শন, আজি সফল হইল মোর মনুষ্য জনম।
By his mercy, I have received your interview here. Consequently, I consider that today I have become a successful human being.
So, Ramananda Rai considers human birth a success.
Ramananda Roy considers his human birth as a success
Because he has met Lord Gauranga.
because he has met Lord Gauranga.
সার্বভৌমে তোমার কৃপা, তার এই চিহ, অস্পৃশ্য স্পর্শিলে হইয়ে অস্পৃশ্য স্পিলে হইয়া তার প্রেমাধীন।
I can see that you have bestowed special mercy upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Therefore, you have touched me. Although I am untouchable, this is due only to his love for you.
তাহা তুমি সাক্ষাৎ ঈশ্বর নারায়ণ, কাহা মঞ্জি রাজ সেবক বিষয়ী শুদ্রাধম।
You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana himself, and I am only a government servant interested in materialistic activities. Indeed, I am the lowest among men of the fourth caste.
So, Ramananda Rai was consider himself
So Ramananda Roy, Governor Ramananda Roy considers himself
very low and abominable.
very low and abominable.
মোর স্পর্শে না করিলে ঘৃণা বেদ ভয়, মোর দর্শন তোমা বিধি নিষেধ হয়।
You do not fear the Vedic injunctions stating that you should not associate with a Sudra. You are not contemptuous of my touch, although in the Vedas you are forbidden to associate with Sudras. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.32, the Lord says, Mamhi partha vyapastritya epishu papayonayaha striyo vaishyastata sudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Partha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, as well as Sudras, can attain the supreme destination. The word Papa Yonayaha means born into a lower class. According to the Vedic system of classification, women, Vaishyas, and Sudras belong to a lower social order. A low life means a life without Krishna consciousness. High and low positions in society are calculated by considering a person's Krishna consciousness. A Brahmana is considered to be on the highest platform because he knows Brahman, the absolute truth. The second caste, the Satriya caste, also know Brahman, but not as well as the Brahmanas. The Vaishyas and Sudras do not clearly understand God consciousness. But if they take to Krishna consciousness by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master, they do not remain in the lower caste, Papa Yonayaha. It is clearly stated, Tepi yanti param gatim. Unless one has attained the highest standard of life, one cannot return home, back to Godhead. One may be a Sudra, Vaishya or woman, but if one is situated in the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness, one should not be considered Stri, Sudra, Vaishya or lower than Sudra. Though a person may be from a low-born family, if he is engaged in the Lord's service, he should never be considered to belong to a low-born family. The Padma Purana forbids Vikshate jati samanyat sayati narakam dhruvam. The person goes to hell quickly when he considers the devotee of the Lord in terms of birth. Although Sri Ramananda Rai supposedly took birth in Sudra family, he is not to be considered a Sudra, for he was a great advanced devotee. Indeed, he was on the transcendental platform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore embraced him. Out of spiritual humility, Sri Ramananda Rai presented himself as a Sudra, Rajasevi Visayi Shudra Dama. Even though one may engage in government service or in any other pounds, shillings, pence business, in short, in materialistic life, he need only take to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a very simple process. One need to only chant the holy names of the Lord and strictly follow the principles, forbidding sinful activity. In this way, one can no longer be considered an untouchable, a Visayi or a Sudra. One who is advanced in spiritual life should not associate with non-devotees, namely men in government service and men engaged in materialistic activities for sense gratification or in the service of others. Such men are considered Visayi, materialistic. It is said, Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 8.23, a person who is very seriously engaged in cultivating devotional service with a view to crossing the ocean of nescience, then who has completely abandoned all material activities should never see a Sudra, a Vaishya or a woman.
Normally, a Vaishya, Sudra, a woman
Normally a Vaishya, Sudra, a woman
is considered a lower material status.
it is considered lower in material sense.
But if one is Krishna conscious,
But if one is in Krishna consciousness,
and not to be considered by any external caste
then they are not to be considered from any external caste
or gender.
or gender.
They should be considered by their spiritual qualification.
They should be considered from their spiritual qualification.
And if one still considers them by their material
And if one still considers them by their material
status,
status,
then that is offensive and they may quickly fall down.
then that is an offense which they may quickly fall down.
তোমার কৃপায় তোমায় করাই নিত্য কর্ম সাক্ষাৎ ঈশ্বর তুমি কে জানে তোমার মর্ম
You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Therefore, no one can understand your purpose. By your mercy, you are touching me, although this is not sanctioned by the Vedas. Purport. A sannyasi is strictly forbidden to see the Visayis, the materialistic people. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his boundless and causeless mercy, could show favor to anyone, regardless of birth and position.
Lord Chaitanya is described as 1,000 times more merciful
Lord Chaitanya is described as 1,000 times more merciful
than Lord Krishna.
than Lord Krishna.
Although he is Krishna,
Although he is Krishna,
he has the heart of Radharani.
he has the heart of Radharani.
He's 1,000 times more merciful.
So he is 1,000 times more merciful.
And thus he gives out his mercy freely
Thus he gives out his mercy freely
without considering
without considering
who is qualified or not.
who is qualified or not.
আমানিস্তারিতে তোমার ইহাগমন পরম দয়ালু তুমি পতিত পাবন
You have come here specifically to deliver me. You are so merciful that you alone can deliver all fallen souls. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings in his Pratana. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे पतिता पावन हेतु तवाय अवतार मौसमा पतिता प्रभु ना पाइबे आरा. My dear Lord, please be merciful to me. Who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? You appear as an incarnation just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls. But I assure you that you will not find a soul more fallen than me. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's specific mission is to deliver fallen souls. Of course, in this age of Kali, there is hardly anyone who is not fallen according to the calculations of Vedic behavior. In his instructions to Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the so-called followers of Vedic religion in this way. Madhya Lila 19.146. So-called followers of Vedic principles simply accept the Vedas formally, but they act against Vedic principles. This is symptomatic of this age of Kali. People claim to follow a certain type of religion, saying formally, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian, I am this or that. But actually no one follows the principles enunciated in religious scriptures. This is the disease of this age. Therefore, the merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has simply advised us to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. The Lord can deliver anyone and everyone, even though one may have fallen from the injunctions of revealed scriptures. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special mercy. Consequently, he is known as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of all.
Gauranga, 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 Gauranga.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.